Hello and welcome back to TechMod's Creative Mode. I've been spending a lot of time on RF Tools Dimensions. The reason I've been doing this, right, um, is actually fairly simple. It's because what I want to do is really get the hang of how to create the worlds. I mean, I guess that's pretty obvious, but there's a lot to it, right? One of the things that I was curious about. So yeah, I was kind of messing around with it. I remember this one didn't actually work, and this is the thing, right? You can make a world. It may have been because of this, to be honest. So I'll set that issue aside for now because it's not like that important issue. However, there are dimlets called these, right? Default, and these are all craftable dimlets. Isn't there one called material default though? Because that to me is a very important. I have a feeling it's a very it's almost like one of the most important dimlets there is. So weather controller mob. So it says material default. Is this the one? How would you make this thing? Oh, you need this, don't you? The dimlet controller type. Okay, that's easy to get. So this should be pretty easy to make this thing, right? I'm just looking at the actual dimlets that are included. Is there a material default? That's what it says here, but I'm not sure that. Yeah, when you look at the default, This is. So this just makes this guy, right? That doesn't seem to be listed in the actual. Let me have a look at this. I believe what it's trying to say is this, right? Because I want to get this. I want to get the vibrating alloy here. And I've actually got rid of it now. So let me just check. Is it happy with this? It should be. Why is material default the first one? Because I'm using like what I found on in the wiki. I think you do need to have that in there. You need this one. See, that will work, and it will still work without this thing here. Let's just what I'm going to do actually. This is quite a complex one, but there's another thing as well, which I've noticed, and you've got diamond, and that is that if you have you have to specify. For instance, these will be like adjectives, right? So you could have multiple ones here. So you could have any number here of materials, and then for instance you could put in the orbs, right? And there's actually liquid orbs as well. So you see that actually. So any number. This just not. It's not just you just put one type. You can put multiple in this section. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have one world called default controller. Okay. And then the other one, it's a bit annoying that it doesn't copy it. There maybe should be a way in the command line to do that. Okay, so we've got default controller, right? And then another one I want to do is without the controller to see if that actually will still work. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do then is get the same dimlets that I had. So we use this with normal terrain. Okay. So it would just be this guy with normal terrain, and we'll do diamond and emerald with oregen, right? Diamond, emerald. Oh no, well, I was doing orbs, wasn't I, actually? Okay, so we'll put the diamond and the emerald with orbs, right? And the orbs here. Okay, so that has got no controller now. And it is difficult to really know exactly what is. And what did I call this one? I called this one defined control. Yeah, default controller. No default controller. Okay. Default controller, no default controller. I didn't put one in there, right? This is. Okay, so they're basically exactly the same, but one's got a controller and doesn't, right? So I guess I should say what I think the results will be. The result I think will be that the one with no default controller is, let's take this guy out, whatever's in here. Yeah, this one is going to drain, obviously, but it doesn't matter. So we'll put in no default controller. At some point, I'm going to figure out a way to delete them because it's going to be millions of these things. Did I set this up to accept? You know what you can do as well? I could put the Ender IO thing here. That might give it a little bit more of a boost. Let's just put the Ender IO thing because it's Ender IO thing. I'm pretty sure the actual capacitor itself's got unlimited. It can just keep on. I don't know. I think the most maybe is. I mean, it's never dropping. It's taking 50,000, isn't it? So there is that. So I guess here's the thing. I may as well just put them both in. It makes no difference. Yeah. So put another dimension builder down, which I may have somewhere. Oh, that's right. You know what I did want to do is I actually had something in here. Okay. You know what I didn't do? I didn't put any efficiency dimlets in, but it doesn't matter. I won't do that yet. So this is the one with the default controller. Was there any... This is going a bit faster, I think. I think that's all it's doing. This one's on 32%. Yeah, this is definitely going faster. Let's see when this gets to 32%. What the other one's on. So I think it just helps with the speed of creation. It doesn't actually reduce the cost. You have to use the efficiency dimnets for that. So we're at 32 there. Yeah, this is going to overtake it, isn't it? I don't think it's actually doing anything, though. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is really the only question I have, in a sense, actually. Most of the other stuff is kind of straightforward. Yeah, what I might do, actually, is just... I'm going to want to lower everything here. Yeah, we don't want that. May as well just put it on most basic settings before we go here. It will just make things a lot easier to work. So this one's going much slower. Okay, so I guess we are going to look at the default controller. So this one should 100% work, right? We should have the vibrant alloy. I'm just thinking. Yeah, this one should be perfect. Maintenance costs 106,000 RF a tick. The problem is that won't work, will it? Because this will only take in 50,000, so I'll constantly lose 50,000 RF a tick. Potentially that's what will happen. I could get that thing, the dimension monitor. Just to check. But I think I will lose 50,000. But there are ways around that. Okay, so the defined controller is ready to dial. We'll just do a dial here. Okay, it's dialed. Okay, it's actually quite good to name the things. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure about the loading time. It won't be great. We see. So this is the one with the controller. So this is the one I'm expecting to work, and the other one I'm expecting not to work. But I'm curious to see if there's any actual difference. Okay. Weirdly, it didn't work though. The ocean is fine, but there's no orbs anywhere, are there? And this is orbs underneath. Just curious if there are orbs here at all. It could also be that it's quite dark in here. What's that? No, it's just a... Yeah, it's pretty weird that. It's funny, isn't it? I think the only solution thing I can say for that then is that you actually have to put the whole lot in. It doesn't want to. It won't accept just the beginning of it. You have to complete the. Yeah. Because there are no orbs here. I would see them by now. Okay. And this guy probably wasn't even chunk loaded. No. Okay. Well, that's disappointing. We'll definitely do them all in this one from now on, though. Okay, so your orbs didn't register. Why was that then? What is there that's not defined? I'm just thinking, what is the best way to get like the most basic version of this? Yeah, and I guess that's what. Yeah, I am very curious to see if the other one works though. And that's the thing, you really do have to define quite a lot of this stuff. Alright, so we'll extract this. And what would be the one of the things that I'm really thinking though is that it may be to do with sky, because when I look at most of the other stuff, features, material, terrain, I feel like that isn't going to affect the overall syntax. So I have a funny feeling if I just do a sky, say a sky normal on this, may actually work. And can I do this again, maybe? I could have just put that in the editor actually to do that. That's probably what I should have done. Okay, so that will go off again, this thing. Now what about this one? That's 100%. So no define controller. We'll dial that. Oh, this thing's getting low now. Just there. I may as well let it finish. It's almost there. Okay, let's go here then. We set it right. So I just dial. I don't think I dial it. Dial. Yep. So no define controller. And this will not work. This is, I guess, will not work as well, right? Because if define controller didn't work. So remember, this was no define controller, but I did put the orbs. Huh. This is exactly what I was actually hoping for. So I guess putting that no define controller that was what actually putting the controller in did ruin it. But why does it? Yeah, this has obviously got some negative status effects. The emeralds here, but they also have diamond blocks though. Let's see if we've got diamond blocks around. It's interesting that the Mo creatures animals are spawning here as well. I'm just very curious if the diamond is here as well. Yeah, they must be, right? I'm guessing we can't go into... It could also be that the... I really just want to see the diamond one, so... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this has run out of power, this dimension, hasn't it? I think that's what it's trying to say. When did we do this? Yeah, that's not good. Doesn't necessarily... Oh, actually, it's starting to matter, unfortunately. I just want to see if there's any. I've got a little bit of time left. I just want to see if there's diamond blocks here. Come on. Show me a diamond orb. I mean, I can. What's this here? Oh, this is one of the houses, isn't it? This is actually the first house I've went into. Am I even pulling these? Probably not. Huh. It's kind of interesting, the effect with the glowstone. It doesn't update it afterwards though. I wish I could see if there were diamond orbs or not. I haven't actually seen any orbs at all. So the frequency must be quite low. I'm not sure you can... Oh, there we go. Okay, that's all I wanted to see, really. Okay, interesting. Let's go back then. You know what I might do then? Because that looks right, doesn't it? So the question is how to make a okay, so this was the define controller, and what did I actually change in there? Oh yeah, I was trying to see. Yeah, for some reason when I put the default at the beginning, it broke it. I just don't understand what this default button. What does it do? A biome. It's a biome controller. I guess you just put it in front of terrain, maybe. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, this one is the one that is not. The problem is this is not chunk loaded, right? But this is the one that's working without a defined controller, so I want to do more with it, don't I? Okay, so no defined controller on this, right? And this one was fine. Alright, it's run out of power though. It doesn't matter. So when I did it like this would do liquid and then terrain normal. Alright, so let's just do there's to be honest there's still some issues with the define controller situation. But I think just for now what I'm going to do is just try and make something very kind of functional. So I'm going to want we in? Yep, that should be fine. So let's get some efficiency. 25 should 24. That's probably enough. Okay, I think it should work like that, right? If I even without gaps, I think it should be okay. Okay. So I want efficiency. I want. It's interesting that you get additional negative side of. Actually, did I get? No, I didn't get any. It was just the dimension running out of power. That's right. Okay. Because this is what I'm thinking about, like what is added. Hmm. Let's just put a few. Let's just yeah. Let's do some structures maybe. I'm curious how many I can put in there. I feel like I can put in loads. And I also think the order is quite important. So yeah. Scattered. I'm not sure what that means. And can you put something which doesn't actually belong there, like an igloo? Let's just do igloo and jungle temple. I am wondering if you know what. Let's just try this because what this will do, this will test whether you could just leave massive gaps. And we're going to do I don't know. So there's about 10,000 RF a tick. So that should actually work pretty nicely. I'll put this in the fast one, the infused one over here. So what we got here? Yeah, that's the right one. Is this the fast one? This looks like the slow one actually, doesn't it? No, it isn't. Creation cost is 2 million RF a tick. Wow. That's a huge amount. That's a substantial amount more than the other one was. And this is completely infused as well. Let's try putting some more. Okay. I think it's trying to pull in more than it can, right? Yeah, there's other ways to do this, like if you make I can't actually see it now though. Alright, I have to come back when this one's done because it's going to take a long time.